You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 21st of May. India launches global diplomatic outreach to expose Pakistan's terror links. Amid recovery from India's Operation Sindoor, Pakistan promotes Army Chief General Asim Munir to Field Marshal. And US Defense Secretary orders comprehensive review into 2021 US-Afghanistan withdrawal. And now for all the details. One of India's biggest diplomatic outreach programs kicked off on Wednesday with members of parliament and former ambassadors embarking on visits to dozens of countries to brief on India's firm stance against terrorism in the aftermath of Operation Sindoor and to expose Pakistan's terror links. We have a report.
The first of 7 all-party delegations set up for India's diplomatic outreach on Operation Sindoor abroad departed on Wednesday for 5 countries. The multi-party team led by JDU MP Sanjay Jha was the first to fly out from Delhi on Wednesday afternoon. The delegation will travel to Indonesia, Malaysia, South Korea, Japan and Singapore. The 7 delegations will project the country's national consensus and resolute approach to combating terrorism and expose Pakistan's terror links.
माननीय वड़ा प्रधान श्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी को पूरी दुनिया से पूरा समर्थन इस आतंकवाद के खिलाफ की लड़ाई में मिला है। ऐसा नहीं हुआ है कि हमारे साथ सिर्फ चंद 2-3 देश आकर खड़े रहे हैं। सभी लोगों ने इस आतंकवाद के सामने की लड़ाई में हमारा पुरजोर से समर्थन किया था और इस आतंकवाद की लड़ाई को और इस लड़ाई को ज्यादा मजबूत बनाने के लिए पूरे विश्व को इसमें साथ जोड़ने के लिए यह डेलीगेशन आज जा रहा है। हमारे लीडर श्री संजय झा जी के अध्यक्षता में हम सब विविध 5 देशों का दौरा करेंगे और अलग-अलग सेक्शन से हम बातचीत करेंगे।
Earlier this week, the Indian Army also organised a trip for media persons to the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir, showcasing its capabilities and weapons used in the conflict with Pakistan. The nuclear-armed South Asian neighbours launched strikes and counter-strikes on each other this month after India said it targeted terror hideouts in Pakistan and POJK in the wake of an attack on tourists in Pahalgam. Following 4 days of offensive, New Delhi and Islamabad agreed to a ceasefire on May 10th.
As part of Op Sindoor, जब हमको बताया गया कि हमें टेररिस्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर LOC के पार इंगेज करना है, हमारे प्लान्स रेडी थे और हमने दिए हुए टाइम पे उन सब को इंगेज किया। जब दुश्मन ने ये देखा कि हम बहुत ही एक्यूरेटली उनको इंगेज कर रहे हैं तो उन्होंने कोशिश करी कि वो हमारे गन एरियाज पे फायर डाले, बट वो नाकामयाब रहा।
Days after the worst conflict between New Delhi and Islamabad, Pakistan on Tuesday evening promoted the incumbent Pakistan Army Chief General Asim Munir to the rank of Field Marshal. As per state media, the promotion was approved by the government over Munir's participation in Pakistan's military operation Bunyan-Um Marsus against India over the past week. With the promotion, Munir will be the 2nd Field Marshal of Pakistan. Before Munir, former military dictator and President Ayub Khan was the only 5-star rank officer in the South Asian nation. However, he had conferred the rank to himself. With the ceremonial rank promotion, Munir, who took charge as Chief of Army Staff in November 2022, will continue to remain in position. However, it was unclear whether he will have a retirement date, as traditionally the Field Marshal is largely honorary and lifelong, akin to traditions in other countries like the UK or India. While Munir was promoted to a 5-star rank, Pakistan cabinet also approved the extension of the tenure of Pakistan Air Force Chief Air Chief Marshal Zahir Ahmad Babar Sidhu until further orders. The development comes days after the military hostilities between India and Pakistan after India conducted precision strikes at terror outfits in Pakistan and POJK. Tensions escalated when Pakistan launched attacks on India's military and civilian installations, promoting India to strike and damage 11 Pakistan Air Force bases and radar systems, from Karachi in the south to Sargodha in the north and Nur Khan near the Pakistan Army's general headquarters in Rawalpindi. Pakistan on Wednesday, it had agreed to deepen trade and investment with China days after the end of deadly conflict with India that Beijing urged should be resolved through a dialogue. Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar met his counterpart Wang Yi in Beijing on Tuesday. Wang Yi said on Tuesday that China welcomes and supports efforts by Pakistan and India to handle their differences through dialogue and to achieve a comprehensive and lasting ceasefire. Wang told Dar that China will support Pakistan in safeguarding its territorial integrity, according to a statement from the Chinese Foreign Ministry. Apart from maintaining close communication, the two countries agreed to more cooperation in trade, investment, agriculture, industrialization and other sectors. Separately, Pakistan's Foreign Ministry said that Dar and Wang Yi held another meeting with Acting Foreign Minister of Afghanistan, Amir Khan Muttaqi, in Beijing. The leaders decided to extend China-Pakistan Economic Corridor to Afghanistan and cooperate further for China's global infrastructure program, the Belt and Road Initiative. The next meeting between the three leaders will be held in Kabul, the ministry said. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth ordered a comprehensive review on Tuesday of the United States' chaotic military withdrawal from Afghanistan in August 2021, an evacuation operation in which 13 U.S. service members and 150 Afghans were killed at Kabul's airport in an Islamic State bombing. In a memo, Hegseth said the Department of Defense had conducted a 3-month review of the withdrawal, which he deemed insufficient. The Department of Defense has an obligation both to the American people and the war fighters who sacrificed their youth in Afghanistan to get to the facts, Hegseth wrote. The review will be led by Sean Parnell, the Assistant to the Secretary of Defense for Public Affairs and a senior advisor who served in Afghanistan for 485 days and was wounded in action. Parnell will convene a special review panel to examine previous investigations, including findings, sources, witnesses, and decision-making processes that contributed to what Hegseth called one of America's darkest and deadliest international moments. Former Marine Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller, who was court-martialed in 2021 for publicly criticizing senior military leaders over the withdrawal, will also participate in the panel. However, critics have questioned how Hegseth's review will differ from prior investigations, with some suggesting it risks politicizing a tragedy already thoroughly examined. The 2021 withdrawal, overseen by the Biden administration, has been widely criticized for its chaotic execution, with the Taliban swiftly regaining control of Afghanistan as U.S. forces departed. The Biden administration has pointed out to a 2020 deal negotiated by the then Trump administration with the Taliban, which set a timeline for U.S. troop withdrawal and included reductions in troop levels as a contributing factor to the disorder. President Donald Trump, during his campaign earlier last year, had frequently lambasted Biden's handling of the withdrawal, calling it a failure that tarnished U.S. military legacy. And amid negotiations on U.S. tariff rates, Bangladesh interim government is considering to remove import taxes on at least 100 types of goods to facilitate trade with the United States. According to the reports, items may vary from machinery, textiles, fire extinguishers, raw materials for ready-made garments and certain arms. Sources say that the officials have identified 161 products imported from the U.S. The removal of duties on these products would apply from imports from all countries and not just the United States. The revenue impact of tax removal is aimed to reduce the trade imbalance between the two countries. This move comes amid Trump administration's heightened tariffs on various countries. U.S. President Donald Trump had slapped a 37% tariff on Bangladeshi exports, endangering the apparel hub already reeling from domestic political upheaval. The move was, however, halted, and currently the U.S. has imposed a 10% base tariff on all countries. Bangladeshi garment exporters in particular have expressed concern about potentially losing ground in their most significant market. Reports suggest that some American buyers have already paused orders in anticipation of trade disruptions. Now, school teachers in Nepal have expressed objection to the school education bill passed by the parliamentary subcommittee, for which they had staged a month-long Kathmandu-centric protest. Nepal Teachers Federation, an umbrella body for school teachers, has said that the authorities might witness another protest of even larger scale if the issues are not resolved. The Federation in a statement informed about the exclusion of temporary contract and learning grant teachers have been excluded from internal competition. The redrafted bill allows internal competition for 60% of the seats, leaving the 40% vacancies to be filled via an open competition. The Federation also expressed serious concerns over the provision placing school teachers under local governments without any benefits or alternatives. According to the Kathmandu Post, the Parliamentary Committee on Education was scheduled to start deliberations on the bill on Wednesday, which will be submitted to the House plenary after endorsement. The ruling CPN-UML and Nepali Congress have committed to ensure that the bill gets through the lower house on May 29. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.